This is Anthony Richardson, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is AJ Brown, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
This is Josh Allen, and you're listening to RosterWatch.
RosterWatch Nation, what is up, and welcome to another week 6 of the Start or Sit show here on the RosterWatch YouTube channel. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all for tapping in, locking in this beautiful October 12th, week 6, Sunday morning. We do already have a game underway. The last couple of weekends we've done it before the Europe game kicks off. Today, it's Broncos-Jets, and I just didn't feel like talking about the Jets at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I kicked it till 11 o'clock a.m., and here we go. We're live. It's 10-6 Broncos, halftime. Bo Nix has a passing touchdown. The Jets still stink, averaging 2.7 yards per carry, yada, yada. I'm ready, though. I'm ready to set my lineups. I've got a good chunk of them set. I got a couple questions coming in my text messages. I've got a phone call from my little brother already asking about some start-sit questions. Kenny Gainwell versus who the hell was it? Kenny Gainwell, or I think there's a Chase Brown one online. I can't remember who he asked. Kenny Gainwell, Ramondre Stevenson, or Michael Carter. And I told him to play Michael Carter today. I felt good about that. So I appreciate y'all locking in. Again, if you go over to rosterwatch.com right now, you can get our week 6 rankings. You don't even have to ask a question. You can just go over there, look at the rankings, start a player that's ranked higher than the other player. That's an average composite of our model, of Alex, myself, Trash Man, a bunch of inputs that we put in, and that's what we build our rankings around. And you can get those over at rosterwatch.com. But most importantly, hit that QR code on the right side of the screen right now. You go become a premium member. You can upgrade from pro to premium. Just a couple extra dollars a month. That's it. Just a couple extra bucks. And you get the hyper picks. Not only do you get our props that we get every single week that last year hit at over 60% rate. This year, we're just under 60%. I think it's 57% on the year. But you get hyper picks. It's a new tool in our premium catalog where you go in there and all you have to do is simply click, I want a parlay of 4 picks, and generates it, and it gives you 4 of our favorite picks for the weekend amongst out of our 16, 20 picks that we usually plug in every single week. And it gives you 4, and you don't have to think about it. You have to go, well, I don't want to do this one, or I want to do that one. It just generate it. Honestly, it gives you 4 of them. You just plug them in, do it, run it over to whatever platform you prefer, and it just plugs right in there. So again, HyperPicks is in the premium catalog at rosterwatch.com, along with a bevy of other tools that we've talked about before. Let's get into the start-sit show. Start-sit conversation. You get a question, drop it in the chat. We'll get to it. If you don't get to it today, you can go over to rosterwatch.com, and you can ask the question in the start or sit thread. There's been over 48 questions asked and answered over rosterwatch.com in the start-sit thread this morning, including, like I said before, you got a little Kendrick Bourne, Keon Coleman action. You got some Chase Brown, some Kenny Gainwell action. People asking about Mixon. Like, is Mixon going to come back and do anything at Houston? They're on a bye this week. Javonte Williams, Quinshon Judkins. All the questions are being asked over rosterwatch.com. But you guys come first here at YouTube for me. I've answered a couple over there. I shouldn't say that. The subscribers of RosterWatch come first. But you are also a subscriber of RosterWatch here on YouTube. Jason Sparrow. Jets look very bad. Look like a very bad high school team out here. Very unprepared and inept. Is that shocking to you? Is that shocking to anybody that the Jets that are 0-5 have continued to struggle through the entire year, and Garrett Wilson has 2 targets? I mean, Garrett Wilson started the year out with a north of 40% target share and should have continued the way. It should be north of 50% in any given week. Him and Mason Taylor should be combining for a higher target. They should be combining for the highest target share in the sport right now, higher than Puka and Devontae Adams. But they have been able to score 20 points in each of the last 3 weeks against the Dallas Cowboys and Tampa Bay and Miami and yada, yada. But, yeah, they do not look good today, Jason. Derek Binstock, what's up, Cody? Baker Mayfield or Drake May. Baker Mayfield or Drake May for us today. Baker has a top 12 matchup. Trashman's pretty aggressive about it this today. Has him all the way up at 6, but he also has Drake May at 5. Consensus, we literally have these guys back to back in week 6. Baker Mayfield is our QB 9. Drake May is our QB 10. As far as DFS goes, Drake May is going to give you an extra $700. As far as situations go, Baker's at home against San Francisco. Drake is going to New Orleans, which is an interesting one there. I would lean Baker. I have Baker ranked one spot higher. The model likes Baker, but Alex and it looks like Alex likes Drake. Trashman likes Drake, and the projections like Drake. So it's kind of like a 3-2 mismatch. But I have Baker ranked high enough that it kind of neuters their ranking. Close. Like I said, they're literally back to back. I would lean Baker, though, Derek. Best of luck. John Cedar Park, where is everyone? I guess they are all experts already. I was going to say, today's a little bit, today's been the slowest day, it looks like, as far as the chat goes. I guess they've got off to 5-0 season starts, and John, and they don't need any answers. They don't need any questions answered today. That's cool by me, though. That's the sooner I get out, the sooner I get to go start my lineups, the sooner I get to put some more prize picks in, build some more DFS lineups, the more I get to play fantasy football. I guess if all the questions are answered, the sooner they get done, John. But I appreciate you for tapping in, as always, brother. GB Revival still starting Carter over the starter, Bam Knight. Added Bam Knight in one spot this week. I'm still starting Carter. I still like Carter, and I think Knight was interesting last week. I thought he has this, like, he's got a little wiggle. He's got a nice little wiggle. And we thought that coming out of NC State. We thought that when he was with the Jets. And if they give him an opportunity, I'll be interested to see what the Bam Knight situation is. You got to remember, Bam Knight was buried on that Jet roster, just like Izzy Abanikanda, right? It was Brees, it was Braylon, Abanikanda. That was the year that they bring in Dalvin Cook for like a couple of weeks. And then Bam Knight was like fifth behind all those guys. And Bam Knight, we always thought was playable. He was a good football player, but he was even behind Israel Abanikanda from Pittsburgh, who had the juice too. So he kind of just got swindled there. But yeah, if the opportunity is right, I think Bam Knight could be interesting. This Arizona, I don't really know what to think of Arizona. Arizona last week, they put me on tilt. They're on a 3-game losing streak. The only two teams they've beat, Saints and Panthers. Got completely swindled themselves last week with the DeMercado situation against the Titans. I still, to this point in time, think that he reached that ball across the end zone before he dropped it. I still think that was a touchdown, personally, but obviously they called that thing back. I would still play Carter this week. As far as the rankings go for Carter and Bam is not that highly rated for us. Carter is a back-end RB3 this week. He's running back 34. Tough matchup, bottom 7 matchup in RosterWatch matchup tool. He's right around that Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry. How far is Derrick Henry falling? Which usually means a rebound is coming. Derrick Henry, Kendrick Miller, Tyler Algier kind of category. Mike Yee, bring back undercovered ops, charge $5 a month just for it, and people will pay. I love Undercovered Ops more than any other show I think I've ever done. The preparation for it, I love. Takes a couple hours to prepare for, but I do love Undercovered Ops, Mike Yee. And I try to weave in a little bit of the Undercovered Ops ideals on the Monday Top 10 Thoughts show here at RosterWatch.com. I'll be honest with you. The Undercovered Ops side of the conversation is I do so many shows right now across Roster Watch, the draft rankings, Orange Bloods. I have so many different shows during the week. I think I'm at like 12 or 14 shows in season, and it's adding another one is, it's one of them things. Takes away from, watching some film, takes away from other things in life. But I do try to weave it into the Monday show. If the schedule lightens up in 26, though, I would love to bring Undercovered Ops back, or potentially just do a couple of random episodes here in the next 2 months, I guess, before we get to the playoffs. But I appreciate you, Mikey, always an OG from day one. I remember you, so I appreciate you for that as well. Ice Cold OG Jones, should I start Tua, Mac Daddy, Rodgers, or Young? Young is a good stream right now. I'm trying to pull up YouTube to make sure I'm not missing anything in the chats. I think we're good there. I think Bryce has been a good stream. I said you should have added him last week, played him last week, this week, and next week was a good 3-game stretch. If you were ever going to play Bryce or believe in Bryce, if you needed him, it kind of aligned greatly with this Lamar Jackson situation. So who we got here? We got Mac, Tua, Rodgers, and Young. Our highest quarterback is Bryce. It's Bryce by a wide margin ahead of Mac and then Rodgers. Yeah, that's a pretty wide gap. That's pretty much Bryce has got the number one matchup in the RosterWatch matchup tool as well. Alex and I both have him QB 15. Mac is the next closest, but again, he's going from QB 15 to QB 22 at Tampa today. They're going to have to throw the football a lot. He's been rather efficient, scored 19 fantasy points per game when he's in the game, which is a touch more than Bryce. I like Bryce today, though, against the Dallas Cowboys. It's a top matchup with the matchup tool. It's just point blank period. That's what it is. So it's kind of hard to fade away from that. So I'm going to go with Bryce today. Like I mentioned, Ice Cold Jones, best of luck, brother. Bryce Edward, Jaden Daniels or Drake May. Jaden Daniels or Drake May. Daniels is our QB1. Like we talked about Drake May a minute ago. He's kind of back-to-back with Baker, the back end QBs, QB top 12. But Jaden Daniels is overall QB1 this week for RosterWatch.com. So I can't tell you to play Drake over Jaden. I just can't at the current stage. JB says Bills or Chargers on defense. Bills or Chargers on defense. Chargers, of course, get the Dolphins in Miami. Cross country, one of the longest treks they'll have to be made. LA to Miami. You also have Seattle to Jacksonville today. Two very long flights from the West Coast to the East Coast. Who's the other team? Bills. Bills was the other one. Bills are playing the Falcons on Monday night. I think there's a couple of injuries in that game that I'm kind of watching, but I kind of just want to go against the Dolphins, but yeah, I think you want to go Bills. I think you want to go Bills here. You got to go Bills, JB. JB, you got the B in your name. Go Bills. Joe Bills. Jake Bills. Bills or Chargers. I like the Bills. We're going to go Bills here. It's tough because I like Penix a lot. I think in a standalone situation with Bijan and Drake, you can see where you might not want to bet against it, but I also think that the Bills side of the conversation is much more Texas Longhorns than it is Penn State Nittany Lions. And by that, I mean you dropped the game last week to a team people didn't expect you to lose to, and now you're going to bounce back instead of getting drummed again, right? You're not going to get drummed by Michigan State like Penn State did. You're going to do the drumming against a good football team, but an overrated football team in the Atlanta Falcons. How's that, JB? GB Revival. Appreciate you, brother. Rankings probably came out before it was announced that Bam was starting. No. Rankings are ever evolving. So the Bam Night stuff is just what the Bam Night stuff is. It gets updated as we go. I'm not so fast to just go out and take, maybe I should be, the Adam Schefter stuff for granted. I think we look 2 weeks ago, right? Or was it 3? With the pitch count conversation. Who was that? Was it Ibuka? I'm blowing my mind is empty right now. But Rappaport basically said, yeah, it was Ibuka. And it was the Pewter Report. And Rappaport came out late, like way early in the morning, like 8 a.m., 7 a.m., whatever it was. There's no pitch count. There's no problems. Pewter Report reiterated the same thing. 3 hours later, Adam Schefter comes out and says, there's going to be a pitch count. Shefty's wrong. Ibuka was in. When Ibuka played, he got the reps. He got the work. Now we got this changes coming in Arizona. Bam Night is a good back, like I literally just said. I'm not going to run out and move Bam ahead of Carter. Alex moved Bam ahead of Carter. Get up here, Alex. Come on, I see you. Get up here. Turn your camera on. He's out. He dipped out. Alex came in to say he just moved Bam ahead of Carter. I'm not going to move Bam ahead of Carter. I'll move Bam up close to Carter, But I believe in Carter. So there's that. Cocky Kane says, let's see. I want to see where Alex moved him. Cocky Kane, I'll get to you in here in just a second. Okay, so we moved him up. All right, that's fine. I'm fine with that. Again, like I said, I like Bam Knight. I'm not going to get over my skis, though. This is Carter. I like Carter in this situation. So it is what it is. Henderson or Vidal? Let's talk about this. Traven Henderson or Kamani Vidal? The Traven Henderson situation that we've seen unfold this year, I've talked to Alex about it numerous times, and it comes down to this. It's just, it feels like if Travion was to do the things that Ramondre's done this year, he would be in the doghouse. Like if he was to fumble 2, 3, 4 times, Travion would be in the doghouse, but he's not. Ramondre just continues to get the benefit of the doubt in this backfield. And what it has done for us is it's caused this 3rd, 4th round, 5th round Travion Henderson shares to completely swindle the idea that, him coming in as your running back 2 or running back 3 on your prospective roster has completely swindled you into these 4 and 6 and, oh, hey, I got a 12-point fantasy game, but we've yet to see him crest 50% of the snaps in the backfield. It's tough for me to full-blown trust that. What it's also tough for me, and Cocky Can, I'm getting to this whole question here. What it's also tough for me to trust is what is going to happen with the Chargers today. But should it be? Hassan Haskins, Kamani Vidal, we're going to get the actives and inactives for the early slate here in a couple of minutes, about 10 minutes. And today, luckily, the Chargers play in that early slate. So we're going to get to know, if they elevate who's active, who's inactive as far as running back position goes. The one thing I'll lean on for this question and why I'm going to pick Kamani Vidal over Travion Henderson is because we know Harbaugh has told us a number of times, even before the season, and we've heard on end at the combine for the last 3 years, this is no longer a one-back league. Obviously, there's situations that are situational that make it a one-back league. I look at the situation in Tennessee because Tennessee's not good. You got Tony Pollard. It's his backfield. You look at Christian McCaffrey, he's Christian McCaffrey. Look at Derrick Henry, he's Derrick Henry. Kyron Williams, they just happen to love Kyron Williams. There's situations where it's 85, 90% opportunity shares any given week, week in and week out. The Chargers told us, even with the intent of signing Najee Harris before the firework accident and drafting Omarion Hampton, obviously before he got hurt, the intent was, with both of them healthy, was to split that backfield. Ramondre gets hurt in the firework accident. He comes back. He gets banged up. They practice a little bit together. Omarion starts the season. Najee starts to work in the load a little bit, and they're split. And he gets hurt. And we never really get to see it. Am I to believe that Hassan Haskins is going to come in here and take 80% of the opportunities because he's a 225-pound back that played at Michigan? Or how about the fact that Kamani Vidal was a 1,000-yard rusher at Troy and is a good backfield? Like, it could go either direction if you're thinking about it from that perspective of who's going to take the 80%. I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a dead split, and it's going to be a hot-hand approach. And who's got the most juice in this backfield? It's Kamani Vidal, the guy that got the preseason love a year ago because of what he looked like in the preseason, because of the explosion, the burst that he had. He was, to a certain extent, R.J. Harvey before R.J. Harvey became R.J. Harvey. I like Kamani Vidal here, but I think it's really close. And I think that this whole Travion Henderson thing stinks. But you also have to realize that if you don't play Travion Henderson, goes without being said every single week. If you don't play Travion Henderson, he could go for 25 any given week. Well, Mike Vrabel might not see it yet. You might get asked about, who's James Cook, and when you're practicing to prepare for James Cook, what do you do? And he says, well, if we had somebody like James Cook, we'd play him more. Well, you do. He just obviously doesn't know it yet, or we're just all stooges and we don't know. Anyways, great question, Cocky Kane. Glad I could get all the way into that Kamani Vidal side of the conversation. GB Revival, good luck to you as well. Good as gold, Mac Jones or Jared Goff in standard today. Jared Goff or Mac Jones in standard. We don't love either one, but they're about back-to-back, QB 20 and 22. The better matchup goes to Mac Daddy. Trashman is pretty bullish on Jared Goff as far as these two go. Alex is also pretty much in favor of Goff. Again, that's Detroit at Kansas City. I mean, this is going to be an interesting game. The last time Detroit and Kansas City played, I think in Kansas City, was the 2022 season opener, 2021 season opener. What year was that? 2023 season opener. And that was a 21-20 finish. Goff had 253 and a touchdown. They ran the ball for $120 on the ground with Montgomery and Gibbs. Pat was fine. Pat threw a pick. I think this is going to be a good game, but I feel like it's getting to the point where I think it's getting a little over. I don't know. I think Pat's ranked a little bit high this week. Goff is probably right. Goff is probably a little bit low, but we do have him ahead of Mac Jones, even though Mac has a better matchup. I'm going to go Goff as well with the other guys, which means I probably like the matchup. I mean, the total set at 52. I just don't get that, though. I know Detroit scored. I get it because Detroit scored a lot this year, the last 3 weeks. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't love it. Bam Knight, Vidal, Romeo Dobbs, or Golden. Let's check out Trashman's flex rankings. You get these flex rankings over at RosterWatch.com with the Pro and Premium membership. Like I talked about before, you can get the hyper picks, you can get our rankings, you can get the snaps and touches tool, amongst everything else over RosterWatch.com. You can check out Kamani Vidal and his split backfield opportunities come probably Tuesday, Wednesday. When those get updated, you'll be able to see the splits in that backfield. Kamani Vidal is sitting at overall 103. Bam Knight's just a touch ahead of him. Dobbs is at top 75. And then Golden is just a notch ahead of Dobbs. I'm going to go ahead and write. I think I'm cool with that. I'm playing Dobbs in a couple of spots, but I like Golden personally more than Dobbs. The Vidal thing, I would lean. Again, I'm not going to get into this Bam. It's going to sound stupid, and I don't want to get off of the Bam Knight thing, but I'm not buying Bam Knight's just going to come in and be this. Oh, he's a starter. Okay, so that means we got to jump over our skis and say Bam Knight, top 20 running back. Like, no. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Give me Matthew Golden. Mike Yee, thanks. This is a serious question. Half PPR pick one. Johnson, Bam Knight, Tesla, Luther Burden. Well, there's your Bam Knight answer. Mikey just found it. We're going Bam Knight in that situation. Yes, Juwan Johnson, thank you for clarifying that. I'm going Bam Knight in this situation over Juwan, Tesla, and Luther Burden. Great question, Mikey. Perfectly timed Bam Knight question. Tight end roulette, PPR, wait on Kincaid, roll Fannin out at noon, or drop Fannin for Tongus, Cade Otton, or Michael Mayer. 6-parter, Kipsy, but it's Kipsy, so he's a legend, so I'll give it to him. Very tough matchup for Dalton Kincaid this week. So I get I'm not playing Fannin. I mean, it's pretty proven the last couple of weeks with Dylan Gabriel that this isn't the Harold Fannin show for him. This is more of the Njoku, and this is more of the Isaiah Bond show for the Dylan Gabriel favoritism. Not playing Cade Otton. Cade Otton's been very hit or miss. You get zeros, you get 12s, and it's more zeros than 12s this year. Michael Mayer with the Bauer stuff is a nice play. We have him right now sitting right there at tight end 9. I don't feel great about it. We've seen Okui Boonham get run. Ian Thomas is going to get run. I don't feel good about it. Jake Tongus is giving you about 7 fantasy points per game in standard right now, about 10.5 in PPR. That's going to be my highest ranked guy outside of Kincaid. So that's kind of where I become. I come down to Kincaid and I come down to Tongas. Tongas got a top 10 matchup today against Tampa. I'm going to tell you to play Kincaid, but if you have any hesitation, then I guess you can play Tongas, but I would play Kincaid. All right, about 3 minutes until inactives come out, and we'll get down to all those inactives when they do come at the, not the top of the hour, the half of the hour. Benson T. Kraft or Myers for flex, and Swift or Kamara for running back. I'm going to go Myers with Bowers out, and then Swift or Kamara at running back. I do believe I have Swift. Gosh, I think they're back-to-back. Swift is at 22. Kamara is at 18 personally. But the team consensus has Swift about 4 spots higher than Kamara. Both have bottom 12 matchups in the RosterWatch matchup tool. So as far as the DFS side of things go, Swift is $200 better on DraftKings, $500 better on FanDuel. I lean Swift. I'll lean Swift with the team. So we'll go Swift and we'll go Myers. What are your thoughts on Javonte Williams rest of season? I think Javonte's good. There's no Miles Sanders there, obviously. Blue is going to, I think, slowly get intertwined into this offense. Dallas is showing and proving that they can score points. We'll see how long that lasts. Carolina, the Commanders, Broncos, the Cardinals, the next 4 weeks going into the bye, pretty favorable. Not brutal matchups. The Raiders coming out. You got the Eagles, the back end of the schedule, Chargers, Commanders, in the fantasy playoffs, Vikings. Like, it's all pretty manageable if you're in the Javonte Williams front, if you have him. And if you had him, you got him at a disgusting value. As far as the dynasty conversation goes, yeah, if you could potentially get some value out of Javonte, I would take it and run, because we've seen what it can look like when he gets banged up or when he's inefficient. He looks great right now. But like every year, I think we kind of expect them to go after somebody in the draft next year, yada, yada. But as far as 2025 goes, I think he just kind of continues on the same trek. And this team continues to score. They've scored, 37 or more points in 3 of the last 4 games. It's a good football team. Not a great football team. They're not going to make a run in the playoffs, but they're going to make a run to try to press 9, maybe 10 wins, which is going to result in some positive game script for Javonte Williams. So he's a guy that if I have, I'm happy with having him as my RB 3 or 4 and moving forward with that. Kip C, what's going on, brother? I might have missed it, but I assume that you would have rolled Haskins over our beloved Henderson. The question earlier was Vidal or Henderson, and I took Vidal. As far as Haskins goes, I think Haskins does probably get a couple more touches than Vidal. So I would go Haskins as well, with the same caveat for Henderson. Pick one flex, Pacheco, Bourne, Brashard Smith. Yuck. Sorry, Johnson Robinson. I don't love the whole situation you got there. I would roll Bourne today. What a huge swing in games. Thursday was awesome. This 8 a.m. game sucks. Play calling optional. Let's check in on the score of this mess that they call Jets football. 10-9 Broncos mid-third quarter. Breece Hall went from 2.7 yards per carry at halftime down to 2.5. He's actually going backwards. J.K. Dobbins, 2.4 yards per carry. Leading receiver in this game is Evan Ingram, 4 for 30. Josh Reynolds, 3 for 25. Not great, bub. Not great. All right, inactives are in. Let's check them out. Let's see what Mr. Shefty has to say. Of course, Kyler Murray's inactive. Thanks, Adam. All right. Let's check out these early games here. Patriots. Nothing big. Cardinals. Kyler Murray, Xavier Weaver. Colts. Inactives. Adonai Mitchell's inactive, along with Anthony Richardson, who's going to be their emergency quarterback. Tyler Goodson, backfield running back, also inactive. Ravens, no Devontae Walker, along with Lamar Jackson. Our guy Carson Vincent's also inactive. On defense, Roquan Smith is down. For the Jags, no Cody Schrader, who's the fourth back. Kalen Sanders, defensive tackle, not big. Seahawks, no Milroe, obviously. QB, well, actually, it's not obvious. I mean, he's the interesting. I don't think he was inactive last week. Julian Love, Devin Witherspoon, Reek Woolen. They're down 2 corners and a safety, I should say, today against the Jags. That's pretty big. No Devon Witherspoon or Rick Woolen. That makes me have some interest in more interest in Brian Thomas in one of these lineups I'm going to build after I get off the show. Dolphins, Jalen Wright inactive. Nothing else big. Browns, Raheem Sanders is inactive. Zach Zinter, their guard. Chargers inactives. Quentin Johnston officially inactive. Looks like he was doing some stretching before the game. Wasn't happy, grabbing at his hamstring. He's officially inactive in this one. So obviously no Joe Alt. He's also inactive on your Trey Pipkins, Jamari Salyers. They're down 3 offensive linemen that they trust. Quentin Johnston also. I mean, he looks like he's in pain. Quentin Johnston officially inactive. All right, so that's going to give a little bit of a bump to Ladd McConkey inherently. Obviously, Keenan Allen's going to get some juice there. Let's see what I can do here. So Quentin Johnston was a top 12 play for me this week. So Ladd at wide receiver 20. That's I think I'd take Ladd over Debo right now. Would I play Ladd over Devontae Adams? Maybe. I'm not playing over Brian Thomas. So he's going to be fringe right there. He's not going to be quite as high as Johnston was, but I still like it. Any more inactives that I missed on here? Cowboys, obviously Lamb, Tyler Booker, Kevontae Turpin. Let's see here. Anything else big? Christian Gonzalez is up. Kamara is up. Both Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs are up for the Cowboys. Zay Flowers is in for the Ravens. That's about it. Jatavian Sanders inactive for the Panthers. Chuba Hubbard inactive for the Panthers. That's about it for what I'm finding right now as far as the actives and inactives. All right, back to the questions here. Tag says, Gainwell, Judy, Downs, Dobbs. Gainwell, Judy, Downs. Oh, that's disgusting. I'm going Dobbs, Tiger. Dobbs for me. But you made me do it. What do you like better in FanDuel? In Jigba Warren or Genty Tet? Let's see where we have Warren as a consensus here. I don't love Warren, man. Like, Tig's asking me about Gainwell. I don't love the Gainwell thing either, but Warren's got, it's a bottom 5 matchup today. I'm much more in the Genty Tet side of the conversation here. Genty's got a top 3 matchup against the Titans. Tet's just Tet. I know you'd like to have JSN and Jigba. I get that for sure. But I'm more inside. I think Tet's got a number 1 matchup today. Bland and Diggs are up. I think both those guys are gettable. So I'm going to go Genty Tet here. John Zeterbark, appreciate you, brother. Texas Tolbert, Ellick, Jennings, Troy Franklin start 2. Looks like we're going to get Jennings today. That game is 4:25 kick Eastern time. I think I got Jennings should be good to go. So that's the prep what I'm running under right now, Tag. Tolbert, wide receiver 63 consensus for us right now. Ellick 43. And then Franklin's going to be 31. So Franklin's 31 back-to-back with Jennings. So they'd be the 2 guys, Jennings and Franklin, if they both go. Franklin's already playing, by the way. You used to tell me that. Franklin's up right now. Franklin has 3 catches for 19 yards right now live on television, Tiger, by the way. So the other guy would be Jennings. If you already put Franklin in today, the other guy would be Jennings. If you didn't put Franklin in, then it'd be Jennings and Ellick Amaner. Chase Brown or Charbonnet? I'm going Charbonnet. I think both are pretty smelly, but I'm not doing this Chase Brown thing. You can have it. It's for the birds right now. You can have Chase Brown against the Packers today. Need 2, Derek Benstock. So who rides the bench? Swift, Warren, or ETN in PPR? Swift, Warren, or ETN? For me, it's Warren. Let me look at the rankings and how we have it situated as far as our average goes. Back to back, ETN, Warren, and Swift. Literally, ETN, Warren, Swift. That's exactly how it's built up. I'm gonna go ETN, Swift. I just literally right now bumped Swift ahead of Warren. So 22, 23, 24. All 3 of these guys got bottom 10 matchups. ETN, Swift, Warren. Back end RB2s on the day. Sparkster says Pittman or Dobbs, can't decide on the flex. Pittman or Dobbs. Well, I love Dobbs today. Dobbs is a top 20 receiver for me today. Pittman is right behind him. I think he's 3 spots lower. Wide receiver 22, but I like Dobbs today. Chargers are getting grilled in injuries. Yes, Chargers are. Ravens are. That's what happens. The Chargers historically get grilled with injuries, Tig. Olave or Diggs. Olave or Diggs. Alex isn't a big fan of Olave, nor is Trashman today. I love Olave. I have Olave as a top 10 play this week. So that kind of inherently pushes my ranking up a little bit. I'm also a little bit lower on the Diggs front. So I have Olave, and we as a consensus, for that matter, have Olave as well. Kip C, AR15 is QB3 today. Ouch. Yeah, he's the emergency and no AD Mitchell, which is big. We've seen him continue to kind of grow. It seems like he's, again, the offense is the offense with the Colts, but it feels like Adonai has slowly taken these like flashes. That touchdown that woulda, coulda, shoulda been was big, but Alec Pierce missing time. Like that's the time you have to step up and take control of an opportunity. We've seen Adonai in week 4 jump up to a 91% route participation, scored 10.6 fantasy points, had the opportunity to score the touchdown, fumbles it through the back of the end zone. Could have been a big day for Adonai, a breakout. Just say what it is, a breakout. 91% of the routes is more than Josh Downs has ran all year. It's more than Alec Pierce has ran in his first 3 games of the year. It's up there like right next to what Michael Pittman has done, his best game this year. And if he scores a touchdown, he scores more fantasy points in that game than any Colts wide receiver has this year. Mitchell's close, so him getting hurt and being down obviously hurts the Colts offense inherently. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all for tapping in today. Make sure you go over to RosterWatch.com if you have a question, start, sit that hasn't been answered or that you don't think of for the next about 80 minutes, about an hour before kickoff. Get those questions in at RosterWatch.com. There's a start, sit thread up over there at RosterWatch.com. You can also go over there and get a pro or a premium membership. You get the props tool. You get the hyper picks tool at RosterWatch.com with a premium membership to hit that QR code right there on the right side of the screen, or go to RosterWatch.com/buy-RosterWatch-premium. It's a couple dollars extra per month from the pro up to the premium, and it gives you a lot of extra tools. The Vegas tool, our weekly matchup tool, Trashman's Flex rankings, the Hyper DFS generator, and now the Hyper Picks generator that takes away the ease of mind. All you have to do is go on there and you go, oh, Alex, Trashman, and Cody just, they got a bunch of picks on here for, Prize Picks, Underdog, and FanDuel, and yada, yada. I don't want to think about this. All you do is click generate. 4 names drop. Plug it into your phone. Submit. You're done. No thought. Just plug it in. Click generate. Your names will pop up. You put them in your phone. You're done. It's that easy at RosterWatch.com. You go over there and become a premium member today. You can also save 60% on the year by subscribing for a year instead of going month to month. Just saying. Last one. AJ, Chase Brown or Matthew Golden? Where is the thread located? We get this question often. Where do I ask the questions? Where do I ask the questions? If you go to RosterWatch.com right now, RosterWatch.com right now, you'll pop it up. You'll see the get player props, really win every week. Boom, right there. Get RosterWatch Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet. Boom, right there. Scroll down just a touch, and you'll see featured stories this week. And it'll be a picture of Zach Charbonnet. Week 6, start, sit thread. Click on it. When you click on it, it'll bring you to that thread, and you'll just scroll down. And if you're logged in, you'll be able to just scroll down, and there'll be a bunch of questions. And you just keep scrolling until it says comment. And you can just drop your comment in there. And Alex, Trashman, Byron will answer that question for you before kickoff. But you have to go over there and just find that respective post. I can also paste it here into the chat for those that are interested in going over there right now and checking it out. Kipsy website looks like you got a fresh look now. Love that. Appreciate you, Kipsy. It did get a little bit of a little upgrade on the home screen there, or the homepage there. Mike, Ramondre or Michael Carter, now that Bam Knight's supposed to get a bigger load. I don't know what to do. Let's see what Alex did for Bam Knight versus Ramondre. So Ramondre is back in RB2, top fringe, back in RB2, top RB3, kind of run that Ken Walker conversation. I'm going to plug Bam in right ahead of Kendra and right behind Derrick Henry. So that's going to put him 33 for me. Carter is 34. I feel better about both of these guys, I think, than Kendra. But I'm not going to do it ahead of Derrick. Derrick is kind of like one of those lines for me I don't want to surpass. I think Carter and Bam are both for me going to end up. That's what I'm going to do right now. 33 and 34. That's where I'm going to put them. So versus Ramondre, we have a 26, 27, 28. That's kind of where Trashman Alex and I kind of consensus out. So we're going to go Ramondre over Bam and Carter. Good morning, Bam Knight, Charbonnet, or Bourne. Sit one. Thank you, brother. Bam Knight, Charbonnet. I got Charbonnet as running back 21 this week. The team isn't as consensus high as I am. Looks like they're editing right now a couple of rankings. I feel better about Charbonnet than I do Knight. And the other question was Bourne. Let me check Trashman's Bourne ranking. Oof, he loves him. Man, Trashman loves him. Loves him more than Charbonnet, too. I'm going to go Charbonnet and Bourne. I'm going to ride with Trashman. He likes Bourne more than Charbonnet. I like Charbonnet more than Knight. So we're going to go Bourne and Charbonnet here, Ronaldo. Appreciate you, brother. Mac Jones or Indiana Jones? We're going Indiana Jones today. Racco Rasmussen. Appreciate you, brother. I love the rushing upside. Mac's going to be fine, but he's not a top 12 option this week. AJ. Thanks, Cody. Appreciate you, brother. AJ, sorry, but I didn't hear your opinion on Brown v. Golden. Brown v. Golden. Did I miss that? Oh, sorry. I just read where's the thread located. I didn't get the Chase Brown or Matthew Golden side of that conversation. Let me check here. I think I like Golden. I think Golden's going to be consensus for us. Let me look at the flex rankings quick. I like Golden significantly more than Brown. Brown is going to be, let's see, where's Stretchman got him? Where the hell's Chase Brown? There he is. He likes Chase Brown more than Golden. I like Golden. The Chase Brown thing, it's a tough matchup against the Packers nonetheless. They got Flacco. They should lean into the run a little bit, but I like Golden more than Brown. Trashman likes Trashman. Trashman likes Brown a little bit more. All right, let's get caught back up to where I was just at. Last couple questions. Vidal, Carter, Kendra, pick 1.5. That one's going to be a little bit tighter. We still have Carter. That's right. I mean, the Carter. All right, here you go. Carter's 29. Vidal, and then Miller. I might have to change my Vidal ranking. I kind of like Vidal more than Carter. I'm gonna bump Vidal personally up above Carter. So Carter's like at the 34, like I said, with Bam. I'm gonna go Vidal up to 32 ahead of both of those guys. And that's gonna make my answer here, Gooner Boy Vidal. Josh K says Charbonnet, Carter, Jennings in PPR. I'm gonna go Jennings. Josh K. Appreciate you. Love y'all for tapping into RosterWatch.com on this beautiful Sunday. Not as busy of a Sunday for the RosterWatch YouTube chat, but I do appreciate y'all. We'll be live tomorrow. Top 10 Thoughts Show will drop around noontime on Monday. We'll have the Waiver Wire Show on Tuesday, and then we'll have the Week 7 Fantasy Football Preview Show that'll drop on Friday with Alex and myself before we come back here next Sunday, October 19th, for another edition of the RosterWatch Start, Sit, show. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And we'll see you tomorrow.
This is Anthony Richardson. You're listening to RosterWatch.
This is AJ Brown.